Right, some good news at last. As you can see, I've got the bike back. In fact, it got delivered yesterday, which was precisely 4 weeks after it was collected by a chap called Dave from WMB, the chaps who collect and distribute the bikes. And all went well, bike fired up no problem. Although Dave did say, you know, it's been left unused for sort of like at least 4 weeks, so maybe it could do with a bit of a charge. So last night I put it on trickle charge overnight, and this morning it's been fine. So yeah, all's well that ends well. I do know that looking at people online, some owners have had a bit of free merch, a bit of a goodie bag when they got the bike back, you know, things like a t-shirt, a hat, maybe a leather wallet. I didn't get any of that, so that's that. Can't say I'm too concerned, but I'm just happy to get the bike back. Now, at the moment, the UK is going through a heat wave. It's now 34 degrees out here. It's about midday, and there's not a breath of wind. It's just so hot. So when I got the bike back yesterday, I didn't ride it straight away. It was just too bloody hot. However, I did fire it up this morning at 5:30, hoping I can go for a ride before it gets too ridiculously warm. And sure enough, I did about 100 miles on it this morning without any problems. And I got back about, 8:30, by which time I was covered in sweat. I was drenched in sweat. It's just ridiculously hot the last few days. And it's going to continue to be hot for the next few days. So whether that's global warming or it's just summer, who knows? But certainly it is a bit too warm to be going out on a motorbike dressed in full leathers, in the middle of the day. So I'm certainly not going to do that. In fact, I won't be out here too long because I burn so quickly. But yeah, overall then, got the bike back, very happy to have it back. And I can just ride it now for the rest of the summer until maybe the autumn comes along, at which point it'll be due for its annual service. Now the service requirements on this bike are every 6,000 miles or every year. So I'm going to try and get as close as I can to 6,000 miles before it gets a service, because otherwise you're just wasting your money, aren't you? So yeah, I want to try and get it up to sort of 5,000-6,000 miles before the autumn comes along. So I've now got the rest of July, August, September, maybe October. Now normally I'd do that in a couple of months easily, but because of my current home situation, getting away from home is very difficult. So it's going to be lots of short trips, maybe half a day here, half a day there, and a quick hour or two when I'm free. But hopefully we'll get some miles on the bike over the summer. So what else can I say about all this recall malarkey? Well, it seems some owners are very happy and some owners are very unhappy. Some owners got the bike collected in no time, got it back in a week or two, all's good. People like me had to wait about a month to get the confirmation of a collection date, and it's now been precisely 4 weeks since then. So I've not had the bike, been able to use it for 2 months at least, and yeah, it's not ideal. Whereas some owners are still waiting to get their bikes back. You know, they've been waiting. So I'm not quite sure what the logic is of who gets collected first, who gets collected last. I have no idea. Although one thing Dave, the driver from the collection company, told me was, I did ask him, are you now getting to the end of this Norton saga? You know, you've pretty much finished all these deliveries. He says, oh, no. He said, no. He says, I've still got some bikes to collect. Not just deliver, but to collect. And the impression he gave me was that, WMD are responsible for, WMD, the company who do all the collections and so on, and the deliveries of these bikes, they are responsible for contacting the owners and arranging a particular collection date or whatever. He said some people are very difficult to get hold of, so either they're never home, they're on holiday, or they don't answer the phone or whatever, so they're still trying to contact some owners and arrange for the collection of the bike. So, I don't think you can blame Norton for that, or even WMB. They're trying their best. And if some owners are never here, perhaps they're on holiday all summer long, who knows, then you'll just have to wait. One good thing though about the bike is during the recall, of course, you get an oil change. I'm not sure they also changed the oil filter. I hope they do, but having a free oil change isn't too bad. I mean, for me it's not a problem because I've done over 2,000 miles, so a fresh oil change is nice. But there are quite a large group of people who got these bikes in January on this amazing PCP deal, where it's £69 down and £69 a month for 2 years. And what they found is, they've not ridden it much over the winter, just get the bikes out, and then suddenly, oh hang on, don't ride the bike, you've got a recall. So they've not been able to ride it, and they can't even do 500 miles before the first service. So they then get the bike back from a recall, which has now had an oil change, but now they've got to immediately book it in for a 500 mile service at the local dealer. And guess what? They're now overwhelmed with these same owners, this little big chunk of about 300 owners who all want their bikes servicing immediately. And I think they're upset because often they'll say, oh well, that's fine, but we can't book you in for another month. And in theory they're saying, well, in that case I can't ride the bike, I'm not supposed to do more than 500 miles. But that seems a bit over the top to me. You've had an oil change already, which is pretty much what the first service is, so just ride the bike. I don't think anybody's going to be upset with you for doing, 700-800 miles, having already had an oil change because you can't get the bike in for a service for a few weeks. That seems a bit over the top, but I have heard people online complaining about that. But then again, some people will complain about anything. So anyway, this is a quick final video about the recall saga of my Norton 961. So yeah, all's well that ends well. Rode really well this morning. Can't say it sounded any different or behaved any different after its recall and oil change. But a free oil change, I can't really complain about that. Yes, that's about it. What else can I say? Oh yes, I did get a comment saying, where have you been? You've not done a video for a while. What's going on? Are you dead? I said, no, I'm not dead. I've just been very busy. So yeah, I've not done a video for about 4 weeks. In fact, since this bike went away, the last 4 weeks I've just been so busy with other things, I've not really had time to work on any bikes. And to be honest, we've had this heat wave twice now, and it's far too hot to be out and about or in your garage during the day. It's just been ridiculously hot. So yeah, not much is happening on that front. That said, there has been a bit of work being going on elsewhere on quite an interesting bike that I've been helping out with recently, and that's now coming to the end of its project status. So I might do a video about that next week, about the trials and tribulations of trying to rebuild an engine from 1979, a very unusual engine, a very difficult engine to work on. At least I think so anyway. But yeah, so I might do a video about that next week, and hopefully we'll get back into the groove, making videos soon. Yeah, because I've not really done much recently. I do need to get on and finish my engine build for the GPZ project, and after that we'll see how things go. So anyway, that's it. This was supposed to be a very quick video, and I'm no doubt going to burn now being out here in this ridiculous heat. So that's it for now, so thanks for watching, and cheers.